Talking some SEC football here on Southeastern 14. I'm Chase Robinson, and we appreciate you for joining us today as we're going to take a look at three breakout players for the Tennessee Volunteers heading into the 2024 season. But before we talk about that, I want to remind you about BetOnline, your number one source for all of your summer sports this season, from Major League Baseball to NBA to golf to NHL. All the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Bet online where the game starts. So the Tennessee Volunteers, some high expectations heading into the 2024 season. And Josh Heupel has put together a pretty talented roster in the offseason, whether it be transfer portal or guys who have just signed and recently for Tennessee, that I think will help Tennessee be a contender in the SEC this season. Again, a roster full of talent. There's several guys that I think need to have a breakout season here in 2024 to help the Volunteers be a contender for the SEC, try to make a 12-team playoff. But here are three players for the Vols that I think need to have a breakout season this year. And we're going to start with the primary position on the field, because there's a lot of talk about this guy right here. Nico Iamaleava. So much hype around him since he's signed with Tennessee. We had a chance to see him in the Cheez-It Bowl against Iowa. And he finished that game. Great numbers, 151 yards throwing and a touchdown. He also ran for 3 touchdowns in that game. He finished as the MVP of the Cheez-It Bowl. So based off that performance, he kind of lived up to the hype that the Tennessee fans and really of all of college football wanted to see in that game. So now we get to see what he can do against the SEC. Not against Iowa, against SEC defenses. So I think he needs to have a breakout year this year for Tennessee. We know what he can do in a bowl game against Iowa. Now, what can he do against a full SEC slate and against some very good SEC teams? Because Tennessee's got a pretty tough schedule when you look at it up and down. So they need someone to lead this offense. When you think of good Tennessee teams, you think of that primary leader on the team. Hendon Hooker, for example, a couple of years ago for the Tennessee Vols, he was a really good leader. He was a really good quarterback as well and was able to lead the offense. They need a guy like that if they want to be a playoff team, and I think Nico Iamaleava could be that guy to help lead this Tennessee team. He's a talented quarterback, but also a good leader. So I think he needs to have a breakout year. And if he does have the breakout year that I think he can and should, then, hey, this is going to be a dangerous Tennessee team. And I think this is going to be a dangerous Tennessee team regardless because of the weapons that are around Nico. I think Tennessee is going to be a force in the SEC this year. I really do. But I think every team kind of starts with their quarterback. But I think Nico Iamaleava is a special guy. And again, a lot of hype around him. I think he definitely could live up to the expectations that have already been set on him. And I think he needs to have a breakout year leading the offense for the Vols this year. Another guy on offense is running back Dylan Sampson. He is he needs to have a breakout year. He had a great spring, so he's on the starting cusp there. And he's stepping into a starting role, most likely, after sitting behind a couple of really strong runners that Tennessee's had the last couple of years. You think about Jamari Small and Jalen Wright. Those two guys, incredible rushing yardage for Tennessee. Now it's Samson's turn, and I think he needs to and can have a big breakout year. We just talked about Iamaleava. They have a great quarterback who also can run the ball. But if they can get that back that can establish the run game for the Vols, I think that's going to go a long way. And I think that will really complement the offense if they can get Nico throwing the ball a lot. If they can get a guy like Samson running the ball and getting some major yardage, I think that will work well together. And then that'll make this Vols offense even more dangerous than it already could be with Nico at quarterback. So Dylan Sampson, a guy who's been waiting his turn, and he's getting his turn, and he needs to have a breakout season this year for the Tennessee Volunteers. We'll move over to the defensive side of the football for this third one. Boo Carter, safety. The defense, the secondary especially, is an area that lost a lot of guys, and there's a lot of younger guys who I think will make a big impact for the Vols this year. One of those is Boo Carter. He is a freshman. A lot of eyes have been on him through his high school years, and they're excited to see what he can do in college. He was a number 3 ranked player in the state of Tennessee coming out of high school. So he could immediately see playing time. And again, a lot of Tennessee fans are really excited to see him based off of what he did in high school. And they need quite a few guys on defense to step up to have a breakout season this year. I think the offense is solid for Tennessee. As we've talked about, they're going to be able to score points, but to contend in the SEC, you need to stop some of these high-powered offenses, and I think that's what Tennessee's working to do as they're kind of reworking the defense. Again, a lot of guys transferred out or graduated, and so they're reworking younger guys on defense, but they're talented. Boo Carter being one of those at safety. I think he can make an immediate impact. I think if he has a breakout year for the Vols on defense, this could be a great year along with the pieces around him. But those are just 3 guys that I think need to have a breakout season for Tennessee coming up in 2024. Still a number of guys I think need to step up. This is a team that, again, could go a long way, could be very dangerous once they figure some things out, especially defensively. I like their wide receiver room as well to go along with Nico at quarterback. But this should be a fun Tennessee team to watch, especially offensively. And I know they're working things out on defense as well. We got you covered, all things SEC football. Keep it locked in on the Southeastern 14 YouTube channel. Subscribe, like this video, share it with your friends, and keep it tuned in to Southeastern 14 for daily SEC content.